we want to shorten not only the speeches, but the time to delivery on this project.
Oh, yeah. Laugh it up, Gavin. Sadly, nothing about the rebuild from the Palisades fires have been short. And now some people who lost everything in those fires in January of 2025 are being bullied by their insurance companies that pretend to be like a good neighbor. You've heard that. President Trump posting that it was brought to my attention that the insurance companies, in particular State Farm, have been absolutely horrible to people that have been paying them large premiums for years, only to find that when tragedy strikes, these horrendous companies were no help to them. Rachel Darvish is one of those residents. She's been pushed around by her insurance company. Ted Gaines is a member of the California Board of Equalization and a former California state representative. Great to have you both here. Rachel, your house was damaged by the fires. I know that. Take us through what's happening and how State Farm then responded.
Well, first, thanks to you, Rob, and to Newsmax. You've both given me a platform, and I've been impossible to stop really ever since. I think today I have a little bit more to say than ever. First of all, here's something I don't think most people can fully appreciate. State Farm and many other insurance companies actually dropped Palisades homeowners months before this tragedy even started. I was scheduled to lose my coverage just before this. I was scheduled to lose it in March of 2025. So I can't imagine what that would have been like. I mean, imagine what it's like for the grandma down the street from me who doesn't know what bad faith means. But I was going to be pushed into the California Fair Plan, which is not so fair. And by sheer luck, I still had a policy. So sheer luck.
Right.
Now, that's why President Trump's post actually hits different with me, because he's not wrong. And he called him horrendous. But to be honest, I think that's the polite version of what's going on. I've been paying premiums faithfully for years, as you mentioned, like a good neighbor, like we're all supposed to. And literally at the moment that I needed State Farm the most, at that moment, the relationship was actually built for this moment, for the moment that a tragedy would hit. They send me a letter denying. They send me letters, let's be clear, letters throughout this tragedy denying me for various things. That's, to me, a subscription to a false reality.
Ted, L.A. County launched this investigation that Rachel just brought up. And the numbers we're seeing, January 2025, State Farm drops more than 2,000 county L.A. area residents. That's 5 months before those fires started. Why did they do that?
Well, I think they were doing it because they were losing money. They probably had too much concentration actually in that LA basin. That's no excuse for not paying out on claims and making sure that claims are being paid out in a timely manner and in a fair way. But we have huge challenges in the state of California. You also have to look to the governor and the legislature and what have they done in terms of putting the right infrastructure in place to fight fires. And also the wildfire aspect. What are we doing to manage our forest properly? So you've got the insurance commissioner with challenges that we've had over the years from a regulatory standpoint, creating onerous regulations that have actually forced companies out of the marketplace.
It's just unbelievable. Rachel, I want to play this clip of you confronting Gavin Newsom on the street during the fires. Take a look.
Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter. We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be.
Rachel, I've got 30 seconds. We'll have you back. But according to one report, as of January, just over a dozen, 12 homes have been rebuilt out of 7,000 that were burned to the ground. How is that possible?
It's possible because of what you just showed. That's how we got to where we are. And I got to be honest with you, without the president's involvement, people like me wouldn't have hope, right? So I want to be real with your viewers. The spotlight was on these people, these bad actors, Governor Newsom, on his legislation, on his policies. The spotlight's been on him, but it's going to fade. So what we need is a reckoning. We don't need excuses for why it was the way it was. So people need to vote differently, and not with their feet like they're doing here in California. vote with your hands. Make sure we have change. We need that list that the president referred to, that Lee Zeldin is pulling together, the good and the bad. We need this, and we need for people to know that in this time of dire need, it's amazing that you've got a president that reaches out to the average person. Me, who lost nearly everything. There are other people who lost everything.
Yeah.
But we've got a president who's sitting there and literally reaching his hand out to us and saying, I see you.
I will say, you know, just ironic, of all companies, State Farm. Everyone knows the slogan, like a good neighbor. Where are they? When something bad happens, where are they? We're not going to stay away from this story, Rachel. We'll stay in touch. Ted Gaines, Rachel Darvish, we appreciate you both being here tonight. Thank you.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.